Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's the boy Trill here on the ASS Family Channel. I'm here with the one and only, the legend.
Mom.
We got Food Theory. Shout out Mad Pat. Is Feastables actually better than Hershey's by Mr. Beast? Well, Feastables by Mr. Beast. This video's obviously by Food Theory.
Okay.
Like I said, shout out Mad Pat. So yeah, we're gonna see. Obviously, a lot of people in their life, I'm sure, have had Hershey's, so they'd probably be able to get a conjecture.
He keep asking that same question.
And
yeah, you'll never notice it. He always have the Feastables and the Hershey.
Oh yeah, because Hershey's the most popular known chocolate brand. Of course, you wanna rival them because that means you're really doing well in that business. But no cap, Feastables. We had the V1 Feastables. I had the dark chocolate sea salt of the two. It pretty much was the same, so I would assume that they were relatively the same ingredients. Maybe it's a little bit different, but we comparing them. So let's see. Do they think Feastables is actually better than Hershey's? We're gonna get right into. Oh wait, before that, if you wanna watch the original video, that will be down in the description below to give your own opinions and conjecture. Now let's get into it. You feel me? I already know how we doing.
About a month ago, Mr. Beast announced the launch of his Feastables chocolate bar. And in case you're feeling like you've dejaed this vu, I should clarify that he's relaunching his chocolate bar with a brand new formula. And this time around, he doesn't want it to just taste better than Hershey's chocolate. He wants it to be
the best on earth.
He did a whole video about it and everything. Had a skit, good structure. Honestly, 10 out of 10. But then he finished it off showing a taste test, which set off all sorts of food theory alarms. Why? Because it was impossible for Feastables to lose. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food Theory, the richest tasting food show with a brand new formula. Now, I'm not exactly someone with the biggest sweet tooth, but when Mr. Beast announced his brand new chocolate bars, I figured I'd try them out, especially because in classic YouTube clickbait fashion, he said it's the best tasting chocolate ever made by mankind.
That's all he keeps
Admittedly,
saying.
when I compared them to his old bars, yeah, they definitely tasted better and more chocolatey. But the best tasting chocolate bar ever? That's a pretty bold claim. He decided he would try and back it up and prove that his chocolate was the best, though, through a blind taste test.
So I set up a random warehouse where I'm going to invite hundreds of strangers to do a blind
That's
taste test on our brand new chocolate.
Now, I love a good food experiment, and we're no strangers to taste tests on this channel, but seeing Feastables come out on top so handedly.
Another one, back to back to back.
Wow. Nah.
Yeah, that could be a little off-putting. I ain't gonna cap. That could look a little scripted. I don't know. I mean, I ain't gonna front. Obviously, like I said in the beginning, everyone's mostly got Hershey's. Hershey's classic chocolate, especially the milk chocolate. You know what I'm saying? It's good. It's good. Feastable bars, they also good. I ain't gonna lie. If I had to choose between, well, it would probably be a bias or whatever because. Yo, I mean, do they got Hershey's peanut butter? I don't know if they do.
No, only Reese's Cups.
But like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Even if we had to go like original milk chocolate Mr. Beast Feastables bar and then Hershey's, I don't know. I probably would still go Mr. Beast. I don't know. Maybe it's like a placebo thing. Maybe it's just like, yo, it's influencer bar. So you would think
I would need to do it because
I don't know.
I'm not a chocolate eater. So
True.
I would have to see because since I'm not a chocolate eater, I'll probably be like, oh, this one tastes good and rich and chocolatey, or this one just tastes so I'm not the tree.
That's tough. I ain't gonna lie. Facts. I ain't gonna hold you. So, yo, I could understand how this could look a little skewed. You feel me?
Want to take a closer look at the whole thing. As I watched the video, I noticed something. Everything from the placement of the chocolates to the order in which they were eaten was designed to get Feastables to be the winner. While the contestants may have had no clue which chocolate was which, Jimmy's team made the experiment so that it would essentially be fail-proof in Feastables' favor. And after the fact, they made it pretty difficult for us to double-check their work when it came to what they actually revealed in the video itself. Pretty suspicious if you ask me. Am I saying that Mr. Beast, the Jimmy Donaldson, deliberately set up the test
James
so that his chocolate
Donaldson
would win? Actually, no. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to dunk on Jimmy. At least not in my third week of being host. His team, though, fair game. And while Jimmy was probably busy catapulting sports cars into the horizon or something, I'm sure that this test was designed by his team so that Feastables couldn't lose. But here's the thing. They may not have done it all on purpose. In fact, they may have unknowingly skewed the results of the experiment in their favor. So, did Mr. Beast accidentally make it so that Feastables couldn't fail in this test? That, my friends, is what I'm going to find out today.
I mean, like, even so, like he said, I don't think, like, obviously, I don't know Jimmy personally, but I don't, from what I've seen of him, I don't think he would genuinely, like, put it in a favor to be skewed. Now, his team, though, like, on the back end, I'm talking, like, Corpo back end, not like Chris, Carl, Chandler.
Oh, I'm
like,
thinking about them.
Not them, not like Tariq the cameraman. I'm talking about, like, Corpo, like, the real back ends, like Mr. Beast executive type John. Now, them, I would fully believe that they skewed this in a way to do that, because all corporations will do that. If multiple of your contestants weren't choosing your chocolate as the best, then especially with you advertising it, why would I want to buy your chocolate? So of course all of them are gonna choose your chocolate, and two, say it's good. Because why? Like, you would appreciate honest reviews or whatever, right? But most of the time, I ain't gonna lie, we live in I've said this many times in recent videos, we live in a world of FOMO and trend hopping now. So of course, like, yo, if somebody says something is bad and you have no context clues behind it, you're probably gonna immediately assume it was bad.
Yeah,
Somebody says
too.
something's good and you don't have no context clues, you're probably gonna think it's good. You know what I'm saying? So why would his team do it in a way to where they could have a chance of having a negative type joint, or like somebody didn't say their chocolate was good? That wouldn't make no sense. So I couldn't believe his team would skew this, but I don't think Jimmy would want to do that. But his team, though, I ain't gonna lie. Listen, Corpo is Corpo. No matter what we trying to do at the end of the day, make money. People will see that chocolate's good. People buy the chocolate, we make money. You know what I'm saying? So I can see that.
Day. First off, why did Mr. Beast do a blind taste test at all? Was that just a random idea his team came up with? No. Blind taste tests are something food companies do all the time. They do this so they can collect data and compare it to similar products or competitors. When removing any branding, packaging, or anything like that,
Because
the
that would
thought is
skew your
it
bias.
takes away any bias or favoritism someone might have
Okay.
toward a particular brand and allow them to judge solely on the taste. Probably the most famous example of this was the Pepsi Challenge back in 1983. That year, Pepsi ran an advertising campaign where they went to supermarkets across America asking them to blind taste test Pepsi and their biggest competitor, Coca-Cola, who before this test was the choice for sodas. What's shocking is that the underdog Pepsi came out on top and showed that a giant like Coke could in fact bleed. Pepsi obviously advertised this amazing result. Coca-Cola was outraged by this. They started issuing press releases, questioning the validity of Pepsi's taste test, and actually tried to sue Pepsi. But this blind taste test showed that branding isn't everything, and sometimes it can actually cloud our judgment. Pepsi's market share more than doubled from 6 to 14%, showing that people had probably overlooked it in favor of Coke up until that point. But you know what hasn't been overlooked? All of you that responded to our community post a couple of weeks ago showing your excitement for our upcoming episodes. And for those of you chomping at the bit for the microwave episode, don't worry, that's coming up next week. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that or future episodes.
Oh God, what's that going to be about? What
party
best
size or
food,
family
what
size
food
or a
tastes good in
massive
the
scam,
microwave?
or even
Probably.
the famed gargling episode. I promise you though, it'll be one that you don't want to miss. But back to today's topic. If you haven't seen the video, Jimmy set out 4 different chocolates with no branding or labeling convention of any sort for the participants. Going up against Feastables were Lindt, the pricey Icelandic chocolate, and Cadbury. An odd
Now those sound like some expensive chocolates.
They probably are.
Very expensive.
I know Cadbury definitely cost some cheese. These two, this looking like you could just look at this. It's got toffee in it. Oh my bad, I can't see that, John. But like, it's got toffee in it. Yeah, these probably cost you a little pretty penny. I mean, I don't know if you like chocolate though. Yeah, you can spend your money however you want to.
Is that imported?
My main thing with this test was like, yo, do the people that they got to try it out, do they know? Like, have they ever had Feastables before? Because now that I look at this going back, like, hold on,
going up against Feastables.
He didn't show it. Okay, yeah, you see how he shows like they're going
one that you don't want to miss. But back to today's topic. If you haven't seen the video, Jimmy set out 4 different chocolates.
Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Since I've had Feastables before, I would know this is a Feastables bar based on the shape. Like, they're flat and they're more in that rectangle break-off shape. Meanwhile, these other ones are more like in that square cubic type shape.
So that's something special.
So that's what I would assume. Like, okay, even if going based on blind, if they're not wearing a blindfold and you actually have Feastables, bro, you could still look at this bar, choose it, and be like, yeah, that joint was good. I didn't even know which one it was. Oh, well, knowing, yeah, hey, you know that was a Feastables bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, y'all, I'm a realist at the end of the day. I really mess with Mr. Beast. I really mess with Jimmy, but you gotta be real at the end of the day, bro. There's marketing and joint behind this joint. You really think it's all good? Actually, let me not even put it like that. Really think everything is all like just coinky dink and all that? I'm not a.
But that rectangle one, that's Hershey, because that's how Hershey breaks off.
How you know that?
Well, I don't know. It's not here. I saw a rectangle one. Like a
no
thin
branding
rectangle
or labeling
one.
convention of any
See?
sort for
Yeah.
participants. Going
That
up
look like
against
that could be
Feastables were
Hershey.
Lindt, the pricey Icelandic chocolate, and Cadbury.
It would have to be one of these.
Yeah. I know.
Odd
That's what I'm
and
saying, it's not
suspicious
Hershey.
choice made by them is that not all the chocolates were the same. While Feastables, Icelandic, and Cadbury were milk chocolate, Lindt seemed to be 75% dark. What? That is a huge difference in flavor profile. It's like adding in a Sprite when you're doing a cola taste test. Every round had the chocolates set out in the same order in front of the testers, and judging from the participants referring to Feastables as the first chocolate, we can also assume they ate them in the same order, from left to right.
Probably.
Now, this brings up a point I want to tackle first. We don't actually know the design of the test, and we have to go by what we're presented in the video. And to be clear, this is absolutely a knock against the whole experiment. We as the audience are sort of just expected to take what we see at face value without any further detail.
See that, and that's what I was mentioning earlier. Like, they're not giving no behind the scenes context on this. So it's like, okay, you'd be like, okay, yeah, they all said it was great. Woo, Feastables good. But it's like, at the end of the day, even how they did the order, especially if they did it left to right, you're probably gonna remember distinctively what the first chocolate tastes like because it was the first one you had. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, as you're going on, the taste may go down, not degrade, but the flavor might start tasting a little bit of the same. But you know what that first chocolate tastes like, it was the first one you had. So I'm like, yo, these tests low key is kind of skewed, bro.
It probably would happen for me because I'll be like, okay, and then by the time I got to the third piece of chocolate, I'll be like, okay, this all tastes like chocolate.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie again, and I have to say that's a personal bias of mine because you don't eat chocolate. So that's a whole nother thing in itself. You feel me?
Leads me to the second point, and that is that there are no statistics for us to look at. We don't know how many people tested the chocolate, and we don't know what percentage of them actually chose Feastables. The video shows most of the people voting for Feastables, but that may not be the whole story. Maybe he figured it was a quick video and he didn't have to show any numbers, but here at Food Theory,
as a marketer, bro, no. See, that's and like I said, why would they show them not choosing the Feastables bar? That would not make no sense, because if somebody's giving a negative John on this or somebody didn't choose it, bro, that's not helping our marketing. If somebody doesn't want our chocolate, bro, somebody else might not want it. Which means somebody else, which is snowballs. Why would they show that? No, they're gonna show all the positives. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like, yo, come on, man.
we need the numbers. We live on cold, hard facts. But even with that aside, I noticed something else about the taste test. The way the chocolates were presented on that table actually had a huge effect on the results. The first big thing comes from the fact that many of us naturally focus on things to our left because of how we read. That's right. The way we read causes us to bring more attention to things on the left of our field of view. This psychological study, which holds the title for the most boring name exploring something so cool, conducted an experiment to prove this left side bias. You know what? Actually, you can see this for yourself. On screen right now, you'll see two circles, A and B. Now, because English
we
speakers,
all look to the. I looked at A first. I'm gonna be totally real. Not even to like be on some freaking funny joke like, oh, yo, the experiment's real. No, it's just legitimate.
No, you
I
look,
just went like
because
that.
we read from left to right, so it's going to look from left to right.
Shoot, you could even see it in our videos ourselves. Like when we do big screen or even small down in the corner, you could look like when we're looking, because I'm not looking at the camera the whole time. So obviously you're probably gonna see us looking down.
Yeah.
I'd be looking like this most of the time, like reading the stuff that be across the screen and joint like that. I feel like this experiment probably is like a real thing, really good.
Read left to right, your attention will first go to circle A. Then your brain will quickly shift your attention to the right, to circle B, because that's the direction you normally read it. But when you shift your attention back to circle A, your brain hesitates because it sort of says, I've checked there already. What are you doing, you idiot? But this causes it to linger on that left side longer, creating an unconscious favoritism toward anything on that side. We know it's linked to the way we read because the same test was conducted on Arabic-speaking people who read right to left, and they found the exact opposite bias. They favored the right-hand side. What this means for the taste test is that people's attention would naturally have been geared toward the far left chocolate, Feastables. Not only did it mean that throughout the experiment, people's focus would have stayed on this chocolate, but if you watch the video, you'll see that most people actually chose it first.
I like the first one the best. I'm gonna go with the first one.
This opens up a Pandora's box of unconscious bias and unfair favoritism toward Jimmy's chocolate, namely in the forms of the primacy and anchoring biases. The primacy bias...
Personally, what I think they should have did for, and this is for like each person, and I know some of them are probably going to have the same order or whatever, because there's only 4 chocolates, so you can only put them in 4 different orders. They should have did it like every single different person had a different order. So like first person, Feastables on the left. Second person, Feastables last. Third person, Feastables third. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep going like that. Because then, obviously, like we just discussed with the left to right bias, then it's like, oh, yeah, you're going to distinctly remember. Oh, you're going to keep shifting back. Oh, maybe that first chocolate. You know what? It was that first chocolate that was the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's corpo, bro. They going to screw it, bro. I don't know what to tell y'all, bro. That's business.
No, you get somebody like me and be like,
to prioritize information.
Nah, they trying to trick me, yo. So I ain't going to pick that first one.
Nah, mom. Yeah.
That'd be like me.
I'm like, yeah.
Nah, they trying to trick me, yo. I ain't picking that first one.
Yeah, she tried, bro.
No, I ain't picking that first one.
Right. Like,
all right, let's go from apple, orange, banana, pear.
That's presented first in a sequence. This happens because we get more time to process the information, which then leads to people giving more weight to the thing they encounter first and giving less importance to the things that come after. In this case, the first chocolate would leave a stronger impression in the minds of the participants, skewing their judgment in favor of it as the one to beat. It's kind of like love at first sight or first taste. Yeah, you get the point. Once that primacy bias is established, the next thing that happens is your brain creates an anchoring bias. Anchoring bias basically means that our brains tend to anchor our decisions based on the first piece of information we receive, even if that information is irrelevant or just straight up wrong.
Oh my god, if I get this, and because how he's about to explain this, you know how the teacher always say, state your thesis first? Oh my god, I actually learned something from school, guys. Amazing, bro. You don't learn anything. But like, yo, they'd be like, yo, put your thesis first and then put the information after that. Why? Because you're anchoring most of like whatever topic you're discussing, blah, blah, yada, yada, on that first thing that you said, or most of the time, or better yet, like how you have to come up with a hypothesis first because you're basing your whole experiment off a hypothesis. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. School wasn't absolutely worthless. That's really tough.
Oh my god.
May sound similar to primacy bias, but there is some nuance here. See, primacy bias causes you to potentially obtain a skewed, heightened opinion of the first chocolate you taste, whereas anchoring bias makes that the yardstick by which you measure every other chocolate. You essentially latch onto a piece of information that then influences everything else. In the video, we hear participants talk about the richness of the chocolate.
It's a little bit richer than the other ones.
This may have been the anchor for many of them. So they try the others and think, this one wasn't as rich as the first one, or this one was way too rich compared to that first one. Either way, their thoughts always came back.
This is really making me think now, because you know how people always say first looks is like first impression is the most John, because you're gonna base everything off of that too. So then, okay, if this is your first impression of something, you're gonna base everything else you judge based on that first thing. So like, just same thing with people. Say me and mom just met right now, and she came off rude, and I'm gonna assume every other interaction I'm gonna have that's with her. You could think about this is with chocolate, so just think about main things chocolate.
Right.
It's gonna be a rude interaction. It's same thing with this. It's like, yo, this first chocolate was fire, left to right, primary bias. You already know. This first chocolate was tough, richer. Second one wasn't that. Third one was getting there, but nah. Fourth one was definitely not headed. And that you're basing those 2 to 4 on one. That's really tough. I ain't gonna lie, yo. This video is actually really good. No cap.
Back to the anchor, which was Feastables. But Jedi mind tricks weren't the only way that Jimmy hacked this test. Mr. Beast's chocolate being eaten first by the participants gave it another leg up, or should I say tongue up, when it comes to how our taste buds work. When we consume something sweet, our taste buds naturally become suppressed and the sensitivity of that taste decreases. This makes everything after that first sample taste less sweet.
Yo, did I not say that in the beginning? I swear that's exactly what I said. Because, bruh, after you keep eating more and more chocolate, you got like, yo, man, I ain't gonna lie, all this chocolate's starting to say it's the same now. Like, I ain't gonna lie, unless it was the one that's dark chocolate or whatever, which you would, there's a clear difference between dark chocolate. But like the other two, like, bro, you're gonna be like, nah, bro, that first one wasn't really like, nah, in comparison to that. Like, yo, I'm telling you, bro, that's really tough. No cap.
Like I mentioned earlier, testers in the video kept saying things like Feastables was richer or sweeter than the others. But that's always going to be the case because the taste buds for sweetness have become more suppressed after the first chocolate. So the others won't appear at...
Wait a minute. Am I bugging? Oh my god, this adds credible to my theory. Wait, because, okay, if they kept... You know how he said they kept the same order the whole time?
Right.
They went from Feastables milk chocolate to the Ecuador or the Lynette dark chocolate. So they
already threw it off.
They didn't tell them. That's what I'm saying. And really think about this. They didn't tell them that they put this was dark chocolate.
Yeah,
they think it's all milk chocolate. So of course you're gonna be like, yo, based off this like I just said, the Feastables rich, tastes good. They're gonna be like, yo, this chocolate was bitter. Like, what's going on? Because the dark chocolate don't really got that as much sweet or whatever. Then you go back to this one, you're like, oh, I mean that was sweeter, but it wasn't. Yo, that's great. Bro, they really playing.
But is that one is dark chocolate?
No, this is dark chocolate. The rest of these is just normal milk chocolate. But like milk chocolate, and this is dark chocolate. And that's what I'm saying. You'd have this first, good, rich, sweet. Boom, you get it with the dark chocolate. You're like, yo, this is better, bro. That first one was definitely better. So you're already scratching 2 off immediately, right? Unless you really like dark chocolate. But again, they don't know that there's a difference in chocolates. Or like there's one that is different, right? So then you have your third Icelandic. You're like, okay, this was sweet. But like, yo, Feastables was a little bit richer, sweeter. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going 1. And then you had the last one, and you probably do the same thing as you just did for 3, maybe depending on how you like the chocolate. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yo, his team really corpo, bro. It's good marketing, though. I ain't gonna lie, they really flipped the script on bulls. Like, that's tough. No cap. Feastables still
like
buzz.
Feastables was richer or sweeter than the others. But that's always going to be the case because the taste buds for sweetness have become more suppressed after the first chocolate. So the others won't appear as sweet in relation. This is called sensory adaptation. Our taste buds adapt to the sweet flavor and are less sensitive to others, appearing to be much blander. That's exactly what we're seeing in this blind taste test. And by the way, this can happen across all senses. Have you ever noticed how you can be jamming in the car at full volume like it's nobody else's business and you don't realize that you've cranked it up all the way, but then the next time you get in your car, you turn it on and it's so
real loud.
That is sensory adaptation. During your first ride, your ears become accustomed to the loud volume. They get fatigued and adapt to be less responsive to sound. Then, after some time passes where you don't listen to things at eardrum rupturing levels, when you turn your car on, you're more sensitive to sound. And the exact same thing happens with our taste buds, except it happens even faster. It's worth mentioning that this is not where you become numb to certain flavors due to overconsumption over a long period. That's entirely different. We're just talking about the
this is like, to give y'all a real life example of this, and mom's gonna be able to agree with this. So, and he used noise as a sound, which is even greater for my example of this. So I be in my room, right? I'm chilling, I'm watching Jones on my TV. My volume's at 20. I think I can barely hear my TV, right? This is every day. I think I barely hear my TV. Mom come to me the next day. Yo, your TV, I can hear this boy from the next door over. I'm like, what you mean? I can't even hear my joint, and it's right in front of my face. I'm like, what the heck? That's literally sensory adaptation.
Yep, you done adapted to that sound.
Yo, that's tough, bro. Yo, shout out Matt Pat and his new host, bro, because they really dropping knowledge bombs on us, bro. That's tough.
Initial adaptation to our taste buds after eating something. Every element of the taste test skewed the results in favor of Feastables coming out on top. And I have a hard time believing it was all inadvertent. The choice of chocolates was definitely more than suspicious. For one, poor old Hershey's kept getting name checked and wasn't even put in
the... nosy. What's that on the side? What's that extra plate?
A plant?
The plate.
Oh, I'm assuming this probably like a wrapper or something. I don't know. Because it's not what there's only 4 chocolates. I don't think they have.
No, because if you let it play, you see it. It's
definitely more than suspicious.
More.
For one, poor old
Hershey's chips. Like you could tell, that's like, I guess it's like salt and sweet, or they made it offset the taste or something. I don't know. But this is actually a good point. The one thing that Mr. Beast keeps saying that his chocolate is better than is Hershey's. Why is Hershey's not here? That's what I find also sus too. I mean, not personally to Jimmy.
Okay.
Although maybe a little bit personally, because he is the boy. I'd be like, yo, our chocolate is better than Hershey's. Or like you take Feastables. So mate, Jimmy, I gotta call you out on this one, big bro. I ain't gonna lie. So why is Hershey not here, bro? That's literally like, well, there's other obviously competitors, but like you want to be better than Hershey because Hershey top dog. You know what I'm saying? So why they not here? Very interesting. Very interesting. I ain't gonna cap.
He's kept getting name checked and wasn't even put in the taste test. How are you gonna do them dirty like that? You say your new formula makes your chocolate the best tasting ever made by mankind, but you don't put it up against the most popular brand in America? That's just poor experimental design, Jimmy. Speaking of bad design, I mentioned that not all the chocolates were the same kind. But now, taking everything we've learned, the left to right bias we talked about would make it so that this dark chocolate was guaranteed to be tried straight after Feastables.
That's what I said. I literally said that because that makes, like, in terms of left to right bias, that makes perfect sense, bro. You try Feastables, rich, sweet. You don't know it's dark chocolate. You think it's all milk chocolate. You're trying. You try dark chocolate and it's bitter. You're like, yo, bro, I am definitely not choosing this. So number one is,
so you already took that number 2 out.
It literally, like, yo, this is crazy because you literally already eliminated 50% of the joint. Because obviously Feastables is one they want to choose, so it's already a 3 out of 4. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you took away the dark chocolate because you're like, yo, compared to this last one I literally just had 2 seconds ago, bro, this is tray ball. So now you gotta choose between these other 2, but you're already thinking, yo, one really might be the best because yo, 2 is trash. The other one's gonna be like this. Yo, like,
but then your tongue basically got a reset because the sensory adaptation. Because now you're gonna get the milky sweet chocolate, and you're gonna be like, and you still had that bitter dark chocolate taste. You get it right after, so it's like
true. Actually, I don't know. See, that makes me like that really makes me think because maybe the sensory adaptation doesn't even matter what kind of chocolate it is. It might just be chocolate in general. So the sensation of even the dark chocolate might be even worse. Which if that's the case, that is really skewing this. But I ain't gonna lie, Jimmy, we gonna have to talk to your team because they real corpo for this. No cap, they say super corpo for this. But it's good marketing though. It's good cap, bro. I'm gonna keep it up.
Would increase the bitterness of dark chocolate and create a greater contrast, amplifying the primacy and anchoring biases. In the participants' minds, their opinion of the first chocolate would skyrocket even more thanks to the bitter taste in their mouths after the second, making it another anchor. So basically, for the rest of the chocolates, they'd say, well, it's not as bad as the second, but the first one was better. Mr. Beast used everything from the choice of chocolate to their placements in order to essentially hack the testers' minds and bodies.
Bro, I keep trying to tell y'all, bro, like, bro, it's all like, bro, it's all a psychological thing. Like everything in life, bro, I swear, any situation you get in, bro, it's really a mind thing. You really think that when some heads are doing these Jones, like for instance, we always talk about retention. Do y'all really think that these videos weren't made to be retentivized so you would stay on the screen? Bro, what is you want to know what's the difference between watching a Mr. Beast video and then watching like somebody stream? It's like, yo, every 5 seconds or whatever's going on, boom, 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 edit here, edit there, text on the screen, $1,000, $10,000, Meanwhile, you watch one of our videos, yo, we watching a vid, you could click off anytime because it's like, one, I could go watch it myself again. Opinions, if you want to give your own opinions, conjecture, down in the description below. And 2, it's like, yo, y'all just talking, like, bro, there's nothing flashy going on the screen. Yo, I'm telling you, it's all mind hacks, y'all, bro. It really is all mind hacks.
We gonna do some flashy stuff.
I'm gonna try, bro. Editing Trill not going for it.
Feastables would be the winner. But I don't want to just
at least not on the reactions. I don't know how much y'all want me to add on this show. Maybe I'll start zooming into our faces even more than this. Like, yo, doing this. Like,
his taste test. In fact, I decided to put his chocolate where my mouth is and conduct my own improved taste test with the help of some familiar faces from Team Theorist. I had to wrangle them and convince them they wouldn't be eating Christmas tree, but I finally got Josiah, Rachel, Ash, and Lee to be my taste testers for 4 chocolates. And this time around, we tagged in Hershey's milk chocolate and swapped out Icelandic for it. Oh, and Lindt, we switched over to its milk chocolate version so that all the brands could at least be the same type of chocolate. In order for them to not be able to see which chocolate was which, I blindfolded them to avoid anyone making any assumptions based on looks. And it was a little bit for me because it was hilarious.
Was super yeah, bro, Jimmy, this ain't a good look, gang. I'm not gonna lie. And I really mess with you. Feastables is fire. Don't get it twisted. Feastables is good chocolate. It's not like this is a terrible product. But yo, this is super skewed. They could have, again, every one of those bulls there could have had Feastables before. Looked at it. I know the texture. That's a Feastables bar. Obviously choosing that. We already went over primary bias, anchoring bias. You know what I'm saying? The bitterness having a second one. Like, bro, yeah. Corpo, bro.
And there's some more crackers again. So is it? What's that? Do the sweet salt? There's some more crackers again.
And I think you might be right. They might use that to like offset the taste, maybe. Like, because if the sensory adaptation thing is true, which I would assume it is, considering even I had a representation of it. It's probably to offset it, so you could have like that reset you were saying earlier.
Yeah, they all got crackers.
That would make sense. And with some water, that would make sense. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. So this is they really doing it here. I ain't gonna cap. We gonna see.
Watching them just fumble around for their water and the saltines and the chocolates. I could have just handed everything to them, but this was way better. And to combat the anchoring and primacy bias even further, everyone went through and tested the chocolates twice. In between each round, we rearranged the order so that they could get a fair size.
Okay, that's even better. I wasn't even gonna say to like do it twice. I was just saying switch up the order for every person, so that way at the very least, it's like you can't do left to right bias because the order's no longer the same. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
To ensure that sensory adaptation was kept to a minimum, each one of my testers paused and took a break with some water and saltines in between to offset brand the taste. In order to give their taste buds a break and reset. That way, each chocolate they tried was done on fresh, well-rested taste buds. At the end of each round, they ranked their chocolates from favorite to least favorite so that we could see, once and for all, if Feastables would come out on top. With everything equal, the results were actually pretty surprising. Turns out, there might be a reason why Mr. Beast didn't initially include Hershey's chocolate in his taste test. In 8 total rounds, Hershey's came in first place in 4 of them, and second place in another 2. Josiah was the only one with a blind hatred of Hershey's chocolate.
That one like tasted like berries for some reason. That's weird. In last place is plate number 3.
While Ash, on the other hand, might have found their calling as the new Hershey's spokesperson.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I like how they have to, yo, did you even realize this? They're using spoons to do it so they don't feel it and get the texture of it too. Yo, he really went in deep. See, this is the test that they should have had, but they can't because.
Right, because if Feastables was when it came on top.
The average would have probably been between 2 and 3. I don't think he would have been last because out of them chocolates, Lindt is probably, that's probably the worst chocolate. I'm going to keep it. I think I've had that before. Actually, yeah, I know I've had that before. That's yeah, it's good, but like, nah, bro.
That look like that big one in Dollar Tree.
It is. That's because it is.
I'm like, that look like that big one in Dollar Tree. It is. Okay.
That's why I'm saying it's the worst. I know a Lindt bar. That's trash. I'm going to keep it a bean. And that's subjective bias. Some people think it's amazing. Again, everything's subjective in life. So, yeah. Unless it's facts.
One right there. Oh, it smacks. It's thick and it stays with you, and that's perfect. It's not overpowering with the milkiness. It's right where you want it to be, and it's comforting. It's so comforting. Oh, yes.
I'm so excited.
Cause it rocks, dude.
Cadbury and Lindt were a bit more all over the place, snagging some first place picks, some last place picks, and a few in between. But the most shocking result was that Feastables never earned anything higher than a 3rd place ranking.
And then 3.
3 third place.
2 is 3.
The first plate you tried was your last place pick.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And came dead last half the time. So there.
Jimmy, you got some explaining to do, bro.
It's better than Hershey. Well, can't say let us see because it doesn't matter what we taste, what we like, the taste we like. So.
Oh yeah, nah, I ain't even gonna lie. And again, you can't even just trust. Like I would be honest. Like if we're doing a food review, it's again like I just said, it's subjective. So you can't take what we saying as full fact or whatever, right? We're already, I'm already calling us the Mr. Beast Glazer. So of course you're gonna be like, yo, Feastables is fire. Even though the chocolate is really good. Like if it was trash, bro, I'll tell you. Matter of fact, y'all can go see the video Feastable V1 before we was even really glazing Mr. Beast for real. Mom was saying that half them bars was mid. I remember that junk. Like, yo, I think she gave a Canona Crunch like a 2 or something. I was like, wow. I was like, dang, a 2? Yeah, she gave like the original, not milk chocolate. I think you gave original like a 5. I was like, dang. That's tough. But nah, the Feastables bars is good. But y'all, I feel like them doing this real test to show like without no bias, you can't do no type of mind games, mind tricks. This was good to see. Okay.
There you have it. When the testing field was equal and the position of the chocolates rearranged so that Feastables wouldn't be strategically placed, it couldn't take the heat and ended up melting. But that's not to say his reformulated chocolate is bad. What this does tell us is that the taste tests don't reveal the full picture of a product's success. What Mr. Beast shows us in his video doesn't actually prove anything about his chocolate because it doesn't remove all the biases and adaptations our brains make over the course of a taste test. In fact, he used them to his advantage, setting up the test so that, at least subconsciously, all his participants would prefer Feastables over anything else. And when we removed as much of it as possible, his arch nemesis Hershey's came to take the throne. So when it comes to whether or not it's the best chocolate ever made by mankind, his taste test was way too flawed to determine whether the new Feastables are the sweet treat that raises the bar or just a chocolate letdown. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
You feel me? Yo, I ain't gonna cap though. Oh, no cap. Yo, shout out Food Theory. Y'all already know what it is. Great vid. No cap. And I ain't gonna lie, like I said again, that does not, like he said at the end, that does not mean Feastables is trash. It does not mean it's a bad product or whatever. It just means that the test they did was more of a marketing ploy than it was for like actual data and statistics on whether this chocolate is the best. It's just a marketing thing. Yeah, I realize at the end of the day, they trying to sell a product. No matter if it was physical, digital, you gonna market it in a way that makes your product look favorable. That is like, bro, that is exactly what marketing means.
Yeah, I'm
like,
gonna say, if you want to sell your product, you gotta say yours is the best.
Right.
The best in the world. Like, the best tasting, you know, the best this, the best that.
You feel me? Like, to give one last example, say mom got the ASS family merch on, right? I could be like, yo, this the flyest merch in the market, bro. It's so good. But of course I'm finna say that. I could be like, yo, the quality is so fire. This, that, and the third.
Soft.
Of course I'm finna say that, bro. Why do I be like, oh yeah, I mean, you should buy our shirts, but like the quality's kind of scratchy.
Y'all can't see it.
They be too small. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you buy that? You're not gonna do that. I'm giving out the flaws. That would not make no sense. That's not how you sell. You gonna make it look as good as possible. So yeah, y'all. Now y'all know. I ain't gonna lie. Everything is subjective bias. I suggest trying things at least once, unless it's something really bad. Don't put your life in danger or anyone else's. Try it at least once. If you like it, continue doing whatever you're doing. If you don't, you got to. Simple as that. But yo, y'all, that was Food Theory. Is Feastables actually better than Hershey's? Mr. Beast bars. Y'all already know. Feastables. At the end. But like, yo, if y'all want to watch the rich video, like I said in the beginning of every vid, that will be down in the description below to give your own opinions and conjecture. Mom, we at the end, so go ahead.
Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Oh, sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
And comment. I mean, have you tasted the bar? You know, comment down below which one is your favorite. And I know I did that in reverse, but it's okay. But don't forget to turn on this.
Post notification bell so every time it's us family post a new video, that boy be fresh, hot, spicy, fiery, and
always in your feed.
Y'all already know who it is. I
am Mom, and I have two earrings. It's just this one is green. Oh, sorry, this one's green. Can't see it.
I'm
looking at myself and I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Yo, why is only showing me one earring?
Yo, that's bad. But I didn't even realize that's hilarious. Attaboy Trill, love chocolate, and we gonna see y'all later. Specifically Reese's. Peace.